And a very good Monday evening to you. I'm FOX54 Weather Impact Chief Meteorologist Dressman. If you spent any time at all outside this afternoon, you know just how hot and humid it was today across the Tennessee Valley. Temperatures climbed into the mid-upper 80s this afternoon. We're talking about dew points in the upper 60s and lower 70s, and in some cases, we're still talking about that this evening. Live look out over the Parkway. Definitely an increase in cloud cover here over the last couple of hours. Not much in the way of any sunshine, but that doesn't take away from the heat and humidity that is going to be with us through the course of the evening here in a little bit. I'll show you the rest of the evening. Radar for the time being looks nice and quiet. Radar trying to pick up on a couple of isolated showers there over northeast Alabama across the Alabama-Tennessee state line heading up into southern middle Tennessee. That activity looks incredibly light and incredibly isolated, and frankly I have a difficult time believing that much, if any, of it is actually making it towards the ground. Otherwise, we are actually dry across the Tennessee Valley, and most of us are going to stay dry through the rest of the evening. Now, a couple of isolated showers and thunderstorms certainly can't be ruled out over the next couple of hours, but as we begin to lose that daytime heating, the chance for any sort of shower and thunderstorm activity to develop is going to go down somewhat quickly. Look at the current temperatures and the dew points. I wanted to point out the dew points because that's really the big story here. 82, dew point of 70 in Coleman. 81, dew point of 68 right now in Moulton. 84, dew point of 70 in Pulaski. Fayetteville has a dew point of 71 degrees. It feels like late June, early July across the Tennessee Valley. We're talking about dew point temperatures in the mid-80s. We're talking about dew points in the upper 60s and lower 70s. And this sort of an environment is going to stick with us for about the next 24 hours. Until then, we're going to get a little bit of relief across the Tennessee Valley. What I mean to say is that that environment is going to stick with us for about the next 24 hours. Then we're going to get a little bit of relief. That's what I was trying to say. That relief is going to come in the form of a cold front. Cold front back off to the west by the time we get to Tuesday morning. That cold front's going to drop into the Tennessee Valley Tuesday evening, and then as we head into the overnight early into your Wednesday morning. But it's not all good news. That cold front is going to bring about the opportunity for some showers and thunderstorms. A strong springtime cold front, to be a little more specific. And I wanted to place a little bit of extra emphasis there. A springtime cold front. We are still within our spring severe weather season across the Tennessee Valley. It typically trails off as we head into late May, but it is important to note that we are still in our spring severe weather season. A strong spring cold front is going to move through the Tennessee Valley Tuesday night, bringing the opportunity for severe weather to North Alabama, southern middle Tennessee. All modes of severe weather are going to be possible across the Tennessee Valley. Now, there is a chance, and I'm going to show you this, a couple of models have shown a level of consistency in allowing some supercells to develop across the Tennessee Valley through the middle and later part of the afternoon. We're talking like 4, 5, 6 o'clock in the evening. If some supercells can develop through the middle and later part of the afternoon, then the threat for tornadic activity is going to increase across the Tennessee Valley because those individualized supercells are going to be able to tap into what is going to be an incredibly unstable environment. We're going to have temperatures in the mid and upper 80s. Winds are going to be out of the south. We're talking about dew points in the upper 60s and lower 70s. We're also going to have a fair amount of wind shear to play with this time around. So if those individualized supercells can manage to develop, then the threat for tornadic activity is going to increase and be somewhat independent of that main line of showers and thunderstorms that's going to move through the Tennessee Valley directly associated with the cold front. So a FOX54 weather impact alert day as we head into your Tuesday. Timing there going to be 4 p.m. to 11 p.m. We're obviously talking about the chance for strong and severe thunderstorms. Make sure you have multiple ways to receive your severe weather alerts. Now, I know there's been a lot of talk about NOAA weather radios over the last couple of days on the internet. The weather radios are going to be just fine here in Huntsville. If you are getting your information from the National Weather Service office here in Huntsville, Alabama, then there are absolutely going to be no problems. Birmingham, Nashville, a bit of a different story. They have a software upgrade that apparently is unavoidable. But as far as alerts from the National Weather Service office here in Huntsville, we are going to have no problem. So your weather radio is going to function just fine. And then, as always, make sure you know your severe weather plan so you can take action if a situation should arise where you need to take action. An enhanced risk for severe weather across the entire Tennessee Valley as we head into Tuesday afternoon and Tuesday evening. Biggest concern going to be the threat for gusty, damaging winds. That is going to be the main problem across the Tennessee Valley with that main line of showers and thunderstorms. And we're talking about some incredibly gusty winds, wind gusts in excess of 65 or 70 miles per hour. When you're talking about wind gusts that are getting to that 70 mile per hour mark, you're talking about wind gusts that can do significant damage without ever seeing anything tornadic. Wind gusts 65 to 70, maybe upwards of 75 miles per hour. Wind gusts of that magnitude can really, really do a lot of damage. And then our secondary concerns within that main line of showers and thunderstorms going to be the potential for a little bit of large hail, and then the threat for a couple of isolated tornadoes to develop across the Tennessee Valley, again, within that main line of showers and thunderstorms that's going to move through directly associated with that cold front. Now, the timing here is going to take into account that we could get the individualized supercells to develop across the Tennessee Valley. 4 p.m. to 9 p.m. across northwest Alabama, Lauderdale, Cobber, down into Franklin County, heading into Lawrence County. 6 p.m. to 11 p.m. across the I-65 corridor. This includes Giles and Lincoln counties up across southern Middle Tennessee, and then Limestone, Madison, Morgan, and Coleman counties in North Alabama. And this is for the onset of severe weather, right? 8 p.m. to 12 a.m. across northeast Alabama. That would be our friends in Jackson, DeKalb, and Marshall counties. Here's what all this looks like on Futurecast. So here's Futurecast at the lunch hour on Tuesday. A noted increase in the amount of cloud cover, still going to be a little bit of sunshine. It's still going to be incredibly hot, and it's still going to be incredibly humid. Again, we're talking about dew points in the upper 60s and lower 70s. Then we get to the early part of Tuesday evening, 4, 5, 6 o'clock in the evening. Look at what's happening. This model is one of the models that's trying to bring about the individualized supercells that could potentially develop across the Tennessee Valley. And again, if these individualized supercells develop, this is not a guarantee. This is just one model run. There's a couple of others showing the consistency, so it's worth a mention, but this is not a guarantee. If the individualized supercells can develop, then we're talking about an increased tornado threat across the Tennessee Valley. Futurecast holding on to that chance for individualized supercells 7, 7:30, 8 o'clock in the evening. 9, 10 o'clock in the evening, now that main line of showers and thunderstorms beginning to move into the Tennessee Valley. Cold front there just off to the west. Within this line, that's where we're going to be talking about the gusty, damaging winds. Wind gusts in excess of 65 or 70 miles per hour. Locally, we could be talking about wind gusts that are a little bit higher. We're talking about pockets of very heavy rain. The potential is there for a little bit of large hail embedded within this line of showers and thunderstorms. And then again, within this line of showers and thunderstorms, going to be the chance for a couple of isolated tornadoes. Cold front moves through the Tennessee Valley through the later part of Tuesday night, early into Wednesday morning. After that, it's all smooth sailing. You're heading out the door for work and school Wednesday morning. For, I guess, those that are still in school, it would appear a lot of graduations are happening this week, and a lot of graduations are happening on Tuesday. We do have a complete list on FOX54.com of the altered graduation ceremonies. I know there's a number of them. Anywho, Wednesday morning, it's going to be a beautiful morning across the Tennessee Valley, honestly. A lack of cloud cover, and that lack of cloud cover is going to stick with us through the afternoon, and then even as we head into the evening. Again, I want to mention that we are still within our spring severe weather season. Spring severe weather season typically gets us March, April, and then May. Trails off as we head into the summer. We get our secondary severe weather season as we head into the month of November. Let's talk about the rest of the evening. We're going to break from the severe weather for just a little bit. I want to talk about the rest of the evening, put some numbers on it. If you're going to be spending some time outside tonight, definitely going to be warm and humid. 82 at 7, 79 by 8, 77 degrees by the time we get to 9 o'clock. I'm telling you, one of the best things I did over the last couple of weeks was put a ceiling fan outside. Why? Because it makes standing over the grill so much more bearable. Well, I don't have a grill. I have a Blackstone. But regardless, it is much more tolerable to stand over the really, really hot Blackstone if I have a ceiling fan. And so on my outside patio is a ceiling fan, and it has been a really big help. Strong thunderstorms, this does not. Strong thunderstorms, not necessarily tonight. We'd be talking about the strong thunderstorms tomorrow. I forgot to change the words there. I've got a temperature dropping into the lower 70s, right around 71 degrees. 86 tomorrow afternoon, severe storms across the Tennessee Valley. Tomorrow, no strong thunderstorms tonight. The severe thunderstorms move in tomorrow evening. That was my bad, a little bit of a typo. And of course, you can follow me on social media for all the latest updates. You're not going to get any on Instagram. I'm telling you, you're not going to get any severe weather updates on Instagram. Instagram is very specifically independent of my work life, but you can still follow me on Instagram. I just posted a really cute picture of my dog. X/Twitter, I do post a couple of updates there. Now, primarily, most of the updates are going to be posted on my Facebook. Chief Meteorologist Dressman. Later on this evening, I'll probably hop on and do a little bit of a Facebook Live. And then we're breaking from the weather completely. Today's question of the day is in no way, shape, or form weather related, but I really like this one. ChatGPT picks all these out for me. Can you walk me through your current brisket smoking process? Okay, maybe write this down. Now, this is what works for me. I do not at all claim to be a professional. So, of course, there is you trim a little bit of the fat, trim all of the stuff that you're not going to need, all the loose stuff that's hanging off that's going to get in the way. Flip it over, put the meat side down, and you're going to want to trim off a good chunk of that fat. Flip it back over, and then I do inject my briskets. Now, I don't know if everybody injects their briskets. I'm sure a lot of people don't inject their briskets, but I inject my briskets, and then I season them rather liberally, usually a combination. I buy somebody's salt, pepper, garlic, and then season it however else I want. Put it on the smoker. It's going to be on the smoker at about 180 degrees. You're going to do that for just a couple of hours, just about the first 2 or 3 hours. And then you're going to turn the temperature up to 225. And the last time I did this, and this is when it worked really well, I put it up to 225 and then I went to bed. I didn't touch it the rest of the night. As a matter of fact, I never sprayed it before going to bed that night. So let it all the way go at 225, pulled it off when it got to about 160 degrees internal or so, 158, 160 degrees, somewhere in there. Now, when you put the brisket on your smoker, also take all that fat that you cut off. Okay, you want to use that because it would be a waste to not use that fat. Put that on the smoker too, and just kind of let that render down to where basically most of it ends up being a liquid. So I pulled the smoker off, I put it on some butcher paper, and then I injected the fat back into the brisket. You're going to wrap it in the butcher paper, put it back on the smoker. At this point, I turn the temperature up, 250, 275, and you're going to put it at 250, probably even 275 until it's done. And done would be an internal temperature of 203 or 204 degrees. And then you want to wrap it again or put it in some sort of a cooler. I usually wrap mine in a really big beach towel, put it in a cooler and let it rest. The longer you can let it rest, the better. I don't even say a half hour is minimum. The minimum you should let a brisket rest is right around an hour. And then when it's done resting, I separate the point from the flat because they need cut in 2 different directions. And then you're good to go. It's loosely my biscuit smoking process. Text me your weather questions or non-weather related questions. I like to answer both of them. Number's right there, 256-382-2692. And then I'll provide you with the 7-day forecast because you need to get the 7-day forecast. You stood there and listened to me talk about how I make a brisket. Now you need the 7-day. 85 on Tuesday, 80 degrees on Wednesday, 77 Thursday. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, going to be beautiful. 72 on Friday. We stick with the 70s, as a matter of fact, as we head into Saturday, Sunday, Memorial Day weekend. Memorial Day itself right now comes with the opportunity for some scattered showers and thunderstorms.